To Fev.
Sorry.
Fev was hiding next to the fence.
Oh, Cooter's come up the ground, yeah.
Sunday football is go from the MCG. Hawks to the right, Blues having won the coin toss to the left. Campbell and French the ruckman, and it's Crawford sending the Hawks deep to Mark Williams. It is Andrew Walker who has got the assignment on Mark Williams. He has had some big roles this year, the young Blue, and this will be another one, and perhaps the perfect start for the Hawks.
Well, the opening graphic showed the Hawks dominant in clearances. This time it was fortunate for the Hawks that Sammy Mitchell missed it, because Crawford was coming around the back as a sweeper, and he just bombed it long. And as we say just about every week, it's amazing how many times those quick kicks land in the hands of a forward.
38 seconds it took. Great start for the Hawks and Mark Williams.
It is, and like you said, Jared, often that quick kick, and look, we don't see it in football too often these days. You see players try to set it up with a quick handball to release that player, but often, and so often, that quick kick lands in the arms of a forward because the forward's playing in front. But it's Luke Hodge actually basically playing centre-half back. Looks like he's got Jared Waite, Luke Hodge. So that's an unfamiliar position for him, not the half-back position, but playing on a player like Waite would be a little unusual.
Pace yourself today, Wayne. Centre clearance for the Blues. Houlihan, Betts, Lappin, McGrath. Driving at the half-forward. And there was a bit of a slip from Koutafidis with the man alongside Stephen Gillam, and hasn't he had to be patient to wait for his second senior game? He played one last year for Port. Originally drafted 2002. It's his Hawk debut today as Smith returning into the side, going for Mitchell. Now Clark. Back for Mitchell. Smith. Promising opening from Hawthorn. And coming out, Brett Thornton, who's had a terrific month of footy.
Oh, he has. His second half of the year, ever since the break, he's been probably the best full-back in the competition after that point.
And the Blues have picked up on your point about Hodge, and they've pushed Cooter and Favola up the ground, and all of a sudden now Jarrett Waite is at full-back, so he's dragged Hodge back. Now, I reckon it's a good move for Hodge, getting him across the half-back. He's been tagged out in many respects. And they're going to keep, I think we're going to have a just battle. Hodgie trying to get out to centre half-back, and Favola trying to drag Croat away, so Waite becomes full forward.
It is, and you can see the games. The cat-and-mouse game started already, Jared.
Sewell for Clark, for Campbell. Good chain of hand passes. Now the Hawks can go. Gillam feeding it on to Campbell-Brown. The Hawks begin to run. Ladson's got a man. Croat's peeled off. Aggressive build-up. Can he kick at 55? Long to the square. Franklin at the back. Couldn't hang on. And the Blues will see it over for a throw-in.
And that was just fantastic tactics, really. Favola is up on the wing, up on the half-back flank, trying to get some space. So it exposes Hodge. But the other end of the ground, Crody just charged off.
Yeah, he's trying to run off Favola.
Vandenberg with the intercept and goes to Sewell, who will have a shot at goal from 40 metres out.
We saw Essendon on Friday night go into the game. They played on at every opportunity. They had nothing to lose, obviously. These two sides aren't fighting it out for a top 8, but you just get the feeling the instructions from Alistair Clarkson is to run, 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 and they've started this game in that fashion.
Water. This for the sensational start for Hawthorn. 4 minutes in, Sewell lets them down.
Let him run, guys.
Still yet to get a goal in his AFL career. He's 37 games in now. He won't get a better chance than that.
He's Scotland to be pleased. He's had a terrific year for the Blues, but on that occasion his handball did let him down. Good kick away.
Kicking, yeah, absolutely terrific. Finds Lappin on half-back. Delivers to midfield. Fisher, along with Waite and Favola and Cooter, some targets up forward for Carlton today. Walker's peeled off from the back half, but Bateman does it well here. Wins possession, backs himself, has his skipper. He's got space. Vandenberg can go here, can keep running.
Dixon.
2 bounces, 65 out Gives it a roost to the square, and Dixon's there, and that's a great spoil by Fisher.
Well, you saw just how defensively minded the defenders of the Blues are. There has ended up being 4 on screen. Well, in fact, there was 3 on screen, but 1 just off screen, all going to that square, because that's where they knew instinctively the ball was heading.
Gee, it's an entertaining start, isn't it? Full of run and carry. Here's Campbell in the middle for Sewell. Waite the pressure. Campbell, good second effort. Lappin prizes it clear. Goes to ground. Waite the follow-up. Got it to Fisher. Campbell hurt meanwhile. The kick bounces inside 50. Favola did well to get a mid on it. Hawks will mop up. Hodge for Mitchell. Campbell still down in the middle. This is Gillum. Prominent early, goes for Crawford.
Last year, Hodge All-Australian playing loose man across back.
Sewell, deep kick. Target Dixon over his head. Thornton there, forces it for Fisher. Whitnell and now Thornton. Campbell is still down in the middle of the ground. No stretcher called for, so play can continue. He's up on his feet now as Carlton work it to Thornton and Lappin on half-back. Campbell will come off the ground. Scotland unable to hang on, and it's over for a boundary throw. Another look at what happened for Robert Campbell.
Hands up!
And copping a high one there. I fancy it was Waite in the end coming through with the contact. Throw in on the outer wing. Hawks will get the clearance. Crawford bombs it long. Big fly by Buddy Franklin. Couldn't hang on. McGrath was terrific defensively last week in the win against Melbourne. Whitnell. Vandenberg, they're hard at it. Centering ball. Watch the bounce. Simpson tries to concede. Clark off the ground. And the Hawks get their second.
Well, you called it, Clinton, the fast spinning ball. You anticipated the high bounce, and that's exactly what got Simpson into trouble.
Kate Simpson, though, Jared, on that occasion, if you're going to go towards goal in that situation, you have to make sure you make good contact and it goes through. Just didn't have enough purchase on the ball.
There it is. Look at the spinning ball, and always it goes high. Down he went, and he just had to get that across the ground.
He had to make sure that went through, didn't he?
Notice Thomas Murphy starting up forward as well. He was back last week, but his spot has been taken by Luke Hodge.
Great start for the Hawks. Matty Lappin already had 5 possessions in this game. Actually told us yesterday on Saturday Central that it was a relief to get dropped to the VFL, and enjoyed every moment of it. The fact that just took the pressure off for a couple of weeks.
Geez, they're running hard, the Hawks.
Aren't they? They are hard at it. Smith goes deep. At the back, big fly. Murphy recovers. Snaps. Goal number 3. Thomas Murphy gets his first in AFL football. This is what the Hawk Army have come to see. 1 win since April. They're thinking today might be their day.
So clearances once again. This time was Chance Bateman. They haven't got a lot of runners. Brought a couple in, and there's 2 of them. Joel Smith back into the side. Long bomb at the back. Could have taken it in one grab, but instinctive at the ground level. And I think that's the most important sign there for a young player.
It's the second effort. He went for the mark. He was able to recover. And as you said, they're just winning the ball around the stoppages, getting it on quickly into their forward line. Impressive start by the Hawks.
So far.
Down to ground level, Scott Cummings. Scott's just having too much fun.
Took his arm.
He's got the sun deck out, Scotty.
Took his arm.
You hear the call.
No hold.
Right there was Matthew Head with the word for Barnaby French.
Interesting, the Blues now, they're trying to match up Nick Stevens onto Luke Hodge at centre-half back. So Nick Stevens actually playing centre-half forward.
Guerra for Bateman. Back for Guerra.
Mine.
Scotland.
Done.
Well, they tried that a couple of times during last week, the bump instead of the tackle.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Here's Waite. Now, numbers had got back, so he's devoid of free men, so I reckon he's gone as much for the boundary line as anything, and it was all Hawthorn. And Crode's got Sewell in the middle, and the kick is a beauty.
The Hawthorn set up across half-back has destabilised the Blues. They're actually trying to fight against it, and they've knocked around their own forward structure.
Sewell goes long. Look at the leap from Williams. That was some sort of launch. Never had a hope of marking it, but regardless, it was exciting. We'll get a boundary throw in. 20-0 Hawthorn.
It looked like he jumped right over the top of the pack here. He has.
Jordan Russell coming off the ground. They're going a bit taller, and Satano Halpin is charging like the Light Brigade into the fence.
Vandenberg smashes it forward. Williams rides one bump, couldn't get past Kuda. And the skipper brought him down, and McGrath's away. Now Simpson. He is number 2 in the AFL for running bounces this year, and he's had an early one as he chips it for McGrath. For Eddie Betts on the wing.
Doing really well, Hawthorn, holding up Carlton. They can't get the ball in quickly. The likes of Nick Stevens is running back towards the goal, relying on quick movement.
Well, Betts is quick. And he gets by Sewell. And his kick is cut off, though, by Mitchell.
They are getting flogged across that half-back line at the moment. Got to change it up somehow, the Blues.
And they're generating loose men in midfield. Dixon on this occasion laying the handball off for Crawford, who goes deep. And there's nothing Walker can do there as Williams marks and will have a shot.
No, you're right, Jared. You've summed it up in one. And the thing that the Hawks off half-back, and not only off half-back, but even the full-back line, you got Crode and these guys running down the ground. All of a sudden, Favola's up on the wing. He's on half-back. He's out of position. That's when Waite wins the ball on centre wing. There's no one to kick to because they've run their forwards out of position. It's almost like they've got to play Russian roulette footy a little bit, Carlton, and say if you're going to run down the ground, one or two have to sit back to at least be an option.
They won't fix it, though, by altering their forward line in many ways.
No, because they're not winning it.
They've got to fix it by getting some ball in there quickly.
That's right.
Getting some ball to their forwards in their midfield. If you have a look at some of the names through the middle, they are just not finding the footy at the moment. Matty Lappin's got it with 5, but most of their other big possession winners are all defenders.
That's right. You can already see that it's 15 possessions. The Hawks have had it 15 more times, but that sometimes can be deceiving. The fact that the Hawks and how they've used the ball going forward, they've been very direct, they've been decisive, they haven't chipped it around. Hasn't been chip and share today. It's been get it into those forwards quickly with space.
26-0. A stunning start as Max Bailey, the second game of wins are free, and again it goes against Barnaby French in the middle.
Made one change. Nick Stevens has gone on trying to win some footy, and McGrath has gone to become a tagger of sorts on Luke Hodge.
Fisher defers to Scotland. Got a free man out wide, and it is Stevens. And he measures the kick, and on the lead it's Waite. And he takes the mark in front of Gillum. And this will be right at the edge of his range. Swirly day here at the MCG.
I think this might be a little bit beyond him.
Wasting no time from 55. Drives it long and Lappin at the back with the leap. Carlton get their first score. It took 12.5 minutes.
It's almost deja vu for Matty Lappin. He took mark of the year about in that exact spot about round one.
Round one,
yeah. I'm not sure the year, but I guess he didn't take that one. But that Nick Stevens move may be pivotal. All of a sudden now he's in the middle. He's going to pump it in. And they're not going to miss McGrath's penetration with the footy, but he may be able to do the job on Hodge.
Risky kick into a 50-50. And it's good work by Blackwell to help it over for a throw-in. Sam Mitchell on screen, averaging 26 possessions a game this year. One of 6 Hawks to play in all 18 matches. Carlton have had 8. Featuring in every start.
Throw it in again, too short.
A too short on the boundary throw-in. Fev didn't hear the call. He thinks it's against him.
Always found this amusing or bemusing.
Yes.
And that the field umpires will call it on the boundary umpires, but won't call it on themselves.
No. There's a clear demarcation line there. The poor boundary ump's going to have another go. We must say that it is very blustery down there, and if he's got the wind against him, let's have a look. Yeah, well, we've seen worse. Anyway, it's another short one. Does he call that? No, Favola.
Smart work, the Blues, they were first to pick it up on it.
Stevens has had the rinse. Feeds the handball out for Scotland. Caught by Crawford. Holding the ball.
Well, you've got to take your hat off to the way the Hawks have started here. It's a big challenge for the Blues. They've had a really good month. They've turned the corner in many respects, and pretty tough on that one. It looked like a handball from Heath Scotland, but I guess to give testament to their improvement, they've got to fight back hard here.
They certainly do. Heard Alistair Clarkson say yesterday that their focus and their whole focus in this game was to get off to a good start. They believe it's been the starts that have cost them a couple of wins in this season.
He's good running again from Hodge. He's rooting at a treat at the moment.
Lays the hand pass off, and Birchall penetrating kick. Oh, they're flying up there. Williams brought down by 3 Blues. Ball going nowhere. Should be a bounce. It will be.
Nothing silly. Let it go. It's a free. Thanks. Give me the ball.
Well, Luke Hodge has struggled in some respects through the middle of the ground in recent times. He's carrying an ankle injury too, which shouldn't be forgotten. At the moment, he's majorly the best on ground.
Well, you heard the call. I'll pay it. It travels the 15, and Fisher boldly takes the mark. Wants to effect the switch to the outer side. Lappin's into space. And he's going, and his forwards have got space to lead, including McGrath. Got a good bounce for Stevens now. Favola's got to beat 2. Kick in his direction. You see the Hawk numbers. Favola goes to ground and therefore had no chance. And he's given away a free. He's a little frustrated early as Fev.
Professional free.
He's been outnumbered down back.
He knew that the Hawks had control of the ball, so he thought, why not give away a free?
Smith on the wing. Hawks building again. Drives it long. 2-on-2. Franklin getting back. O'Halpin in front. Couldn't hang on and wins a free.
Good job by Satana.
Yeah.
He read it really well, took the front spot, and he held it long enough for it to be paid.
He's got the athletic ability to run with Franklin.
11-3 on the inside 50 count as the Shepherds provided for Lappin to get free and target Stevens, and there's an arm chop.
Now on the full 50. Now. Here's your mark.
Stevens short. Thornton. In the middle, he's got Simpson.
Face the ball. Face the ball.
Now Kuda. Lays off the handball. Good build-up. Blackwell long. In front.
Good work.
Not paid to wait. Didn't quite hang on. And Crone will clear to Smith. Inside of 9 minutes remaining in the opening term. A flurry of activity, and Sewell's had a bit of it. Again, he's giving the forwards a chance in the air. They'll take one soon. Lappin batters it back for Thornton. Awkward bounce. Does well. Great poise and balance. And here's Lappin feeding it off, and Walker and Carlton are getting a bit of the footy now.
Got to get some runners, though, Clinton. They've got to really get some blokes working hard through the lines.
That's in the back.
It's from here forward that all their problems have been emanating from.
Another look at the contact as Blackwell ducks away on the wing. Runs into heavy traffic. Had to lay the handball off. And O'Brien was there to work with Scotland. To centre half forward, wide of McGrath. Crode had a great deal with Pavlich for the last 3 quarters last week after starting up forward. And the job on Fev today as Mitchell goes to Bateman. In turn for Birchall. Can't mark. Blackwell the pressure. Here's Bryant. Feeding it out for Carazzo. Got a loose man on out wide in Fisher. Working hard for little reward so far, the Blues, although now they're a chance as Bannister marks 55 out. And he's going to give it everything. And everything is enough. Terrific goal by Jordan Bannister, not a noted goal kicker, it must be said. That's just the 7th of his 6-year career, but as you see from where he is, good coverage there.
Yeah, I didn't think Jordan Bannister had that type of penetration in his kicking, to be honest, but he's a player that's come in, only played a few games earlier this year, been in and out, but over the last 5 or 6 weeks, made a grasp of it to get into the side, and the Fev having a rest on the bench, and I'm not sure that's been part of Fev's fault. The ball just hasn't got up there with any real fluency to the Fev. Might have been for giving away that free kick.
Kudafudis to Lappin. Getting plenty of it now. Oh, that's great peeling off by Hodge. He knew the kick wasn't going to go to his opponent, McGrath. He filled the gap, takes the mark, goes short. Bateman's got it. Possession number 6, straight down the corridor. Running onto it is Kane. Drops a mark he'd normally take. And it brings them unstuck. Promising build-up comes to nothing as Whitnell has a couple of men at half forward. Bannister for Stevens. Carlton on the rebound. And the kick is to Fisher.
Great rebound, Blues. It's amazing how much a mark or drop mark can cost you, because Thomas Kane, who's, I think, doing a tagging job on Whitnell, there's a little tunnel. He'd actually peeled off, and he was going to get the ball off Kane, and Whitnell was going to be exposed. But as it turned out, Whitnell picked up the footy and started the rebound, and the Blues should go back and kick what'll be their second goal.
It was a clever toe poke by Cade Simpson, wasn't it?
6 goals, 6-8 this year for Fisher. And it will be a tough day for goal kicking with the breeze about. Scott Cummings, it is blustery down there.
Well, it's swirling. I wouldn't say it's blustery. That was just an ordinary kick. Brendan Favola back on the ground after just having a, 2 quick chats with Dennis Pagan. I think it was to do with that altercation, Wayne. I think you nailed it.
One thing that's frustrating for goal kickers on this ground is that the flags actually give you no help whatsoever. They can be pointing south, and the wind can be blowing in exactly the different direction.
6 minutes from quarter time. Good effort from Bryan to dive on it, but the Hawks might win out. They do, as Crawford tumbles it to half forward. Applied. Carazzo.
Starting to run the Blues.
And Cooter's getting a bit of it. Feeding O'Halpin. Goes to the middle. Wait the mark. The handball for Stevens. Pops it up. Fisher leading wide. Ledson to beat. Swings onto the left. Poor kick. Hodge reads it well again. Now Campbell-Brown. Goes short. Mitchell. Now Birchall. Back for Mitchell. Getting a bit of it early. 8 possessions so far. Still with 9 for the Hawks. Mitchell centering ball. That's okay. Taking the mark is Gillen. Feeding Bateman. Towards Williams. Boundary throwing.
It's quick. Williams had a good 3 or 4 yards on, is it Thornton?
Yep.
Yeah, had a good 3 or 4 yards on Thornton. The kick just wasn't able to hit him.
Carazzo in the race for it. Diving lunge was good by the second game of Dowler. Ends up with Campbell, and he cleverly checks his options and goes short. The Tasmanian Birchall.
Whilst that was happening, Chance Bateman came from the ground, and he was absolutely stuffed. I mean, it was just sensational to see that he's run his guts out for the first 15-20 minutes of this quarter. He gets a chance to change with Brad Sewell, and that's the sort of work output that the Hawks have put into this game, which has seen them so far in control.
Franklin off, Dixon on.
Birchall gone. His 3rd for the year. Hawk fans happy. Number of first-year players in action for the Hawks today, and this 18-year-old out of Devonport is one of them.
Stuffed, Wayne, is a physical education term for being tired. Here it is, a long bomb. Accuracy so important. 32 plays 8. This is a massive start from the Hawks.
It is, and statistics tell you that the side leading at quarter time, 70% of the time win.
Neither of these two clubs have come from behind when trailing at half-time.
Although I'm not writing the Blues off just yet.
Well, they've had a fair amount of the footy, haven't they? Only 4 less possessions for the match. Little reward for their effort up forward. Mitchell sends the Hawks inside 50 again. Creative spoiled by Walker. Scotland under pressure from Murphy. Clark arrives on the scene as well. Dixon. Neat little dummy. Centering ball. Perhaps dangerous. Bryan does well. Good fist. Runs onto it, the big man. Good hands for Simpson. Promising build-up. Breaks the tackle. Caught by Campbell. Got the kick to Waite. Not 15. Waite goes long. Some holding. Favola with a free.
Gee, it's just a big one for the Blues this. They desperately need a goal just to whittle it back and get some confidence. So it was a great charge from Chris Bryan.
And that was an early call from the umpire. I mean, the ball still had 5 or 10 metres to actually travel here. He's paid the free kick there. As you can see, the ball comes into it there. It was a very early call by the umpire. Good call.
last week. This for number 70 this year. He misses as well, and Crow goes at him. And the crowd are loving it as Crow now goes into a couple.
Kick against Favola.
Discipline, discipline, discipline. That's the buzzword these days.
Hey, what we see, mate. Hey, what we see.
He was filthy, not only with the miss, but that reaction from Crow. And the Fev was going to take out anyone he sees. Wow, some heat on here as Carlton spray a couple of chances.
I just wonder whether he'll come off for another chat with Dennis Pagan.
Well,
He won't have time to wait. What time looms.
it's a month tryout for the captaincy next year. Cooter said, if I play, I will not be captain. It's Favola, Whitnell or Stevens for the job.
It's just good footy by Trent Crow, by the way. I mean, he gave away the free kick. He was lucky, and he took the mental ascendancy by just a little nudge.
Hawks running, leading by 23 points. Deep ball again inside the 50. I said they'd take one eventually. Oh, Crawford wants to go with Whitnell. Murphy's got the footy.
He won't want to give the free kick away.
And it's turned over. It's turned over. Spot fires breaking out. Press red to go active here on Fox Footy. We'll keep a camera on the fight.
You give Crow a tick at the other end, you have to give Lance Whitnell a
Definitely.
Yep.
tick at that end.
Oh, boy, these were great rivals of the 80s, and they're turning it on here.
And that's 50.
It's 50.
Pretty easy. Craw's yours, mate. That's only 50. Go back now. He was in the act. He's in the act.
He wasn't in the act, umpire. Fair dinkum.
Here's the earlier one. You see Crawford getting into Whitnell, and that meant Murphy did not get to take his shot at goal.
There's the first free kick, and that's afterwards.
Yep.
Let him run.
Crawford goes short. Whitnell getting back, filled the gap. Campbell snaps. Another goal for the Hawks. Hey, the big men aren't meant to have nimble skills like that.
He's been a real find this last 12 months. They played him at full-back. They played him in the ruck. He's gone forward.
Hawks tap over there.
He's been a player that has shown a lot, and he's just starting to deliver it.
Well, they expected him to do what he's doing this year last year, but he was injured. So he's had to wait a year, but yeah, they're big raps on this kid.
And then Crawford going short. Campbell was the target. Great recovery. And a good snap. Hasn't missed a game this season, the 24-year-old. Some work to do for Dennis Pagan and his team. What a bright start this from the clubs entering this round, 14th and 15th on the ladder. Stevens. Bannister. Caught.
Pressure's
Clark.
been terrific.
Kane. Long ball. Carlton have got an extra man back. Thornton the spoil. Dixon and O'Halpin pursuing it near the boundary line. Walker's there too, and it's a throw-in.
Cut in.
Then Dixon with 31 goals for the year, playing on one-year deals now.
Let Ben Dixon run. Right.
And you'd fancy he'd done enough to ensure he'll get a 2007 contract. This man will, Buddy Franklin. This has been a goodest quarter as the Hawks have played just about all year.
And that was his first touch, Buddy Franklin. He got dragged only 5 or so minutes ago, went off, had a bit of a rest, has come back on and responded in the correct manner.
Well, the Hawks, I reckon they're just going on from where they left off last week by way of work rate. There was some criticism of the Hawks because they got beaten by 8 or 9 goals. But I think underlying it all, boys, we saw the work rate. You could see at Subiaco they were absolutely busting their boiler. But they were beaten by a side who was red hot at the moment in Fremantle. Well, today they are getting rewards, I think, for really working at the same level.
They only kicked 7 goals for all of last week. They've got it here with time remaining still in the first quarter. Sewell breaking tackles with ease. Clark goes short, and now Kane with the mark will have to kick it about 51 metres. And another one of those not a noted goal kicker. 0-4 this year, just 1 goal in his career. But momentum is with them, so he's going to give it a crack. Covers the distance well, but pushes it to the right-hand side. One of 2 late call-ups, Kane and Gillam coming in for the Hawks for Lewis and Dawson today. Here's Thornton. 6-goal game. Carlton fans were worried about starting favourites. Here's Stevens, attacking side of the southern wing. Kick is smothered well. Good pressure by Bateman. He's going to have to go again. He chases Stevens. Couldn't make the tackle stick. The kick wide of Favola. Hodge, has he socketed out on the full? Yes, he has. Now Favola's run quickly to take the kick. This will be very, very tricky proposition from here.
We saw him miss a goal a few minutes ago from more or less directly in front, 30 metres out. This is one that he just made kick.
Nice call.
What a spectacular goal by Favola. There are few in the AFL that would have been bold enough to have a shot from there.
No, that's well, look, they're the capabilities of this man. He would have been disappointed with the shot that he only had a couple of minutes ago. He's gone back. He's a confident kick. He's one of the best set shots in the league. And I would say, along with Pavlich, 2 of the best set shot kicks for goal.
Straight over the goal umpire's head from that angle was unbelievable.
That's your mate, Jason.
The finest goal umpires there is.
He could be here in September. So, final half minute of the opening term with Crawford. Wonderful little pirouette around Stevens. Time for one more, perhaps. Long ball inside the 50. French. Carriage. Good mark. Wobbly kick. Now, can Lappin get there in time and get a disposal away and give them a chance?
That's what they've got to get, though, this run from the back half. It's been absent, and if you do, you get options up forward like that. Is that a free kick? No.
No. Siren will beat them to signal quarter time, and the Hawks lead by 5 goals.
What do you do if you're Dennis Pagan, Wayne?
Oh, look, I think they've got to get their hands on the ball a lot more around the stoppages. That's where the Hawks have really dominated. They've got the ball into their forward 50 with real precision. They're using the ball very well. The Hawks just have to sustain the pressure of the Blues to stay in this game. They'll get their opportunities. This will open up. It'll open up in the second quarter, and they'll have a lot more opportunities to kick goals.
With Hodge going back, they had to get some more run through the middle, and he stepped up along with Crawford and Mitchell. And if those 3 are dominating, you're in strife against the Hawks.
Walker started on Williams. He's now gone to Dixon, and Thornton has gone to the Hawk sharpshooter as we open the second term, and we'll have a second bounce.
It's not high, mate.
Well, you heard the groan from the umpire. It was a pretty ordinary start from him, but it was a neutral ball on the finish.
Ray Chamberlain, Matthew Head and Stuart Wynn wide for sound as always on Fox Footy Sunday as Campbell feeds Mitchell. They get another clearance, and this one will land in the right spot, and Franklin should just go back and have a shot from here.
Just way out there, mate. That's fine.
Well, we saw him kick a long goal from Subiaco last week from a similar distance, so the distance won't be a problem for him.
Adam Bentic just getting trap ball watching rather than Sam Mitchell watching.
Called Buddy after his dad, Lance Sr., who was a state hockey player in WA.
Wow.
Look at that. Cool. His second, Hawthorn's 8. They lead by 6 goals.
Once again, it's one of those, I wouldn't call it a mongrel punt, but it's a end-over-end kick out of the centre. You can see there Sam Mitchell getting it on. Not waiting for that perfect handball as we see in today's football. Forwards always playing in front. Easy goal. I'd like to see a lot more of that. Why don't teams do that so much more often? I mean, the Hawks have got 2 goals from quick kicks out of the middle today from that exact scenario.
You also saw Adam Bentic just ball watching. He's got to get in between the ruckman and Sam Mitchell. That's the space he covets, and that's where he does his damage. And that was just an absolutely magnificent kick from the young star for the Hawks.
And you see O'Halpin with Franklin, so the Blues really have shuffled their defensive assignment since the start of this match.
Thanks.
As to be expected when 8 goals have been rained upon you. Kane, Dowler, Birchall and Bailey. Very young bench for the Hawks as umpire Matthew Head went down. We saw Darren Goldspink here yesterday get KO. You heard Ray check on his mate. You all right? And yes, says Matthew as he heads on out of there. Minute gone by, quarter number 2. Clearance this time for Carlton. Carazzo. Now Simpson. Here's Bentic. Penetrating kick inside the 50. McGrath at the back of Hodge. Kudafiti's waiting down. Handball stolen by Crow. Blazes the kick away. Carlton 2-on-1. Vandenberg in the middle. Boundary line would be a good result for the Hawks. Vandenberg working hard.
Good effort.
And he does very well to effect a throw-in.
Just have a look at this last takeaway at the top of the screen. Bentic versus Mitchell. Now Bentic just gets inside of Mitchell's space and puts a mongrel hand on it and gets the ball going the Blues way. And that's what he's got to do for the match.
Well, that was the difference between the one at the start of the quarter, wasn't it?
Blues get the free. Bannister to Carazzo. Goes to the centre corridor. Wait. And the second effort juggles it. Now they've got space for the forwards to lead. Lappin, in fact, from defence will run into that space and take the mark. And then go very wide into the pocket for Fisher. And it's helped over by Guerra for a throw-in.
Kuda with his hand up, just questioning Matt Lappin's choice of target.
Just watching Luke Hodge, and we know that he likes the rough stuff. Every time he gets a chance, he runs into Favola. Just does a little bump, little nudge, just to let him know that he's around. Giving Crow to chop out at every little opportunity.
Do you think they've targeted Favola?
Well, it just looks like Hodge has taken it upon himself. He's playing across half-back today that, you know, if I can annoy him and help out, he's taken it upon himself.
Right there, Jared, right there.
Blues missed Favola when they met earlier this year. He was suspended for that round 4 match at the Docklands. The Hawks winning by 32 points. This man was the star up forward on that night. Crowd kicking 5. He delivers here to Clark, who marks in the shadows of the northern wing. Well, Franklin lucky there. O'Halpin couldn't control it. And Buddy's away for goal number 3, and it's a beauty. There's a little bit of spirit and verve about these Hawks this afternoon.
A little bit of talent as well.
Yeah, well, as we said at the start of the game, this kid has just shown glimpses of what he can do. All that he has to do now is put that into some consistent form over a whole game, and then after that over a whole season. But he got dragged in the first quarter, didn't get it, had the duck eggs for the first 3 quarters of the first quarter. Come on, kicked a goal, and his last 2 goals have been special.
And Scotty, they've made a change.
Yeah, Satanda helping. He's been taken off, and Houlihan getting the job now on Buddy Franklin.
Now Kuda's gone to full forward, so it's given Luke Hodge someone to match up on.
Still getting the hand pass out, running onto it Carazzo, working with Houlihan, Scotland, and now Bannister's got space on the southern wing. Pulls the kick out in the path of Kuda coming out. Good gather at half forward. Thumps it from 55, and it's out on the full.
It's been interesting watching Luke Hodge. He's effectively playing as a ruck rover across that half-back line. He destabilised the Carlton defence early. They pushed away their centre-half forward and put a tagger on him. Now he's on to Kudafiti's. So we'll wait with interest to see how that unfolds.
Hawks can run it out. Brown's waiting in the centre corridor.
Then go. Back and lead up. Play on.
Here's this run again. Mitchell. Oh, on the lead. Williams usually hangs on to those. Can Franklin step number 4? What an afternoon for Buddy. the next big thing, making a statement on the MCG stage. He's kicked 3 goals in 6 glorious minutes.
Yeah, and you can tell the Hawk fans, they're excited by what they're seeing in this particular game. And if this kid can, as we said after his last goal, if he can just produce this, and in a quarter, I mean, this is a match-winning 5 minutes from him.
Yep. 3 goals in 5 minutes. It's about right. He's got the hands in the air. Maybe the first time we see that. KB made a living out of that.
And he's back to his original opponent of some 45 minutes ago in McGrath. Just take a number down there in the Carlton defence. You'll get to him soon. Scotland, the kick out wide to the wing. Carlton, how will their spirit be affected by what's happening at the punt road end? Carazzo having to go short backwards, but they maintain possession. Scotland. Now French. 63 plays 16. Hawthorn, remember, they started the year 4-1, have lost 12 of their last 13. And there's a good mark by Fisher, who'll be keen to atone for his first quarter miss.
That's it, Fish. Okay, buddy. Yes, mate. Right on your line there. No boy!
And a shoulder injury in round 7, which curtailed his season. Marking strongly here in the forward 50. And the kick is across the face. Is it going to carry for a score? It does. So 10-3 plays 2-5 now.
Thanks very much, mate.
And there were some Blues fans thinking that it could end up being Hawthorn with the wooden spoon should Carlton win today, but it's the Hawks who have responded well. Here's a good pack mark. Bannister goes along to the top of the square. Favola's in front. Crumbing Fisher allows Lappin to take it. Kick smothered. Guerra in the back.
You can't just take a free shot of him.
It's good effort by Brent Guerra. He's involved in the kick out. Then he did a pretty good spoil, keeping the ball away from Favola, and then picked up the free kick.
Kane towards Mitchell. Simpson from the side. Crawford waiting in the wings. Oh, backpedaling like an umpire. Mitchell. Franklin again. Not quite.
Well, one thing Corey McGrath will give you is an absolute contest.
Arms up!
He was good last week in keeping Adamuze quiet as the Blues stunned the Demons by 7 points at the Dome.
Chance Bateman has got a new opponent in Nick Stevens. They're playing in the wing, but right now Chance Bateman's playing full forward. So they are actually taking Nick Stevens at all opportunities away from the footy.
Stevens, a man who averages 23 touches a game. On pace for that with 10 so far. That's Bailey getting the hit out. Whitnell had it knocked away. Bentick for Carazzo to the wing. Brown in front.
Blues runners now with Nick Stevens, just talking it through.
Now, overlap was onto the outer side. Campbell Brown backs himself, kicks long in the direction of Dixon. What a perfect kick that was.
Well, I reckon they created that space for him. And you saw Dixon pushing his man up into the goal square as if he knew exactly what was going to happen.
That's right. He didn't actually kick it to the lead. Dixon hasn't led there. Dixon was flat-footed when the kick left.
That's right.
But he was standing on that side. So all that the player has to do is run onto it. It's a perfect kick.
And the veteran usually makes good on moves. Hawthorn marching on. Their lead is now 52 points.
I guess the other issue is the longer you delay your lead, the closer to goal you end up being if you do in fact mark it. And Ben Dixon did that really well. He just pushed and pushed and pushed and waited for the ball to be in flight and then went. And turned around and it was on his chest. Shane Crawford getting a rest.
(11-3 to 2-5), and the Carlton fans are stunned. They did not see this coming. Mitchell putting the tackle on Bentic. We'll do it again.
Well, they didn't. I'm not too sure what the Blues can do. I mean, they can go defensive. They can try and sit a loose player behind the ball, but there's not too much they can do because it's around these stoppages that Hawthorn are just dominating. And if you can't get your hands on the ball and they've got space to use it, doesn't matter how many guys you got sitting behind the pill.
Eddie Betts on half-back, told to play on.
It's this here, though, that's killing them. Because right now the Hawks are just dropping numbers back. They're going with the Blues players, so inevitably it just clogs up the Carlton forward line.
Like this. And Favola was flat-footed there as Crow marks comfortably. Birchall. And on the rebound, they've been running hard. Here's another example with Clark going. Ladson in support. The handball astray. Bounces straight through Scotland. Hawks get a break, but Lappin closed well. Affects a good tackle. Free kick Carlton. They're away with the advantage to Carazzo on the wing.
Well, Hodge is just dropping off by himself. They've got to find somebody up the middle. They've got Kate Simpson. They've got to find him.
French to Favola. Helped out of it by Crow illegally. That's a free. You heard the call, and has Crow given away 50? Yep. He didn't return the ball well enough.
Well, he was filthy, and he showed his disgust, and he gave a 50, and that's the stuff that Trent Crow's got to get out of his game. We'll see here that Luke Hodge gets up with a crook ankle as well. There he is limping in the background.
He just threw the ball wide of Favola, so Fev goes back and pops through his second, and that's going to be a little entertaining sideshow this afternoon. Favola and Crow. Crow did not go back to stand on the mark. The umpires come in now to have a chat. There's the return of the footy. They're really working hard to get there. He's got two.
Got to work on his rugby pass. Trent?
Well, his grandfather was an All Black in the 40s.
Yes, that's why I said it.
Yeah, he learned the haka from our very own Wayne Schwartz. We might provide classes for all at Foxford.
Well, the Hawthorn runner was out to Trent Crow, and he was giving him his own rendition of the haka.
Straight out, guys. Eyes on it. Play on.
We not need to say anything. Lappin for Stevens. To Fisher. Good spoil by Campbell Brown. Boundary throw. 69 playing 23. Lappin, the leading ball winner. Hawthorn have had 2 more possessions than Carlton this afternoon. And yet they lead by 46.
That was short again as well. Must be a lot of wind down at ground level. And Buddy Franklin's a big kick, but he pumped a couple from outside the 50. There must be a jet stream up there somewhere, Scotty.
It really, really isn't. I don't get it. It's absolutely magnificent down here.
You've got to get out from undercover down there.
Clark hailing the cab. It's going nowhere. Heading to the midpoint of this second term. Hawthorn playing Essendon at the Telstra Dome next Saturday night. Carlton have got Richmond there on Sunday, and then Collingwood and Sydney to close out their year. Waite looping the hand pass to the wing. It's found by Bannister to give to Carazzo. Goes inside the 50. Favola there affecting the spoil. Simpson's got Lappin. Had Houlihan, goes himself and misses.
Given that run's a bit of an issue for them, would you consider, given that the score is so far apart, put Jared White at centre half back and put Big Lance, Big Red? I mean, they're I guess their go-to moves that they do when they're in times of trouble, and just get Jared the charge.
Yeah, they've been falling down, especially across that half-forward line, and you're right. Even a Walker, get Walker up through the midfield
Bateman goes out wide. Bouncing ball, Benting. Over the head of Scotland. Turnover. Could be costly. Mitchell's got Smith. He's got a stack of space. Could go all the way. Whitnell's got it and run at him soon. He does. He therefore left his man. There was good help defensively. Hawks still a chance. Williams riding the bump. We know he's a sharpshooter, and that's one of the best goals you'll see. Williams gets his third, and it's a beauty.
They're on today, the Hawks.
They're not missing too many.
Good run there by Joel Smith. He timed that pretty well. In the end, he probably could have gone himself. Great hands there from Mitchell.
Yeah, I thought Lance Whitnell and Corey McGrath actually did this really well. You see here, Lance makes him make a decision. Corey leaves his opponent, which was good play. But in the end, Williams, he's a class act. And he doesn't need too many opportunities to make you pay.
The boundary umpire in question there with the weak arm, he's actually taken himself off, and the emergency boundary umpire's jumped in and taken his spot. So we shouldn't have any more problems now.
Don't put him on camera, boys. He's got a family. Stevens with the hand pass out, stolen by Kane.
Might have an injury.
Exactly. Kane goes deep. Thornton in a wrestle with Williams. Fans wanted a free. Walker with a wonderful clearance for Lappin. Now, feeds the handball for Simpson. He's got Scotland in support. Uses him by foot. It hit the ground, said the umpire. Play on the call. It will bounce back to Scotland. He's caught. Vandenberg loves a chase. Lappin, good running Carazzo. And the kick is perfect. Fev on the lead. N50 against Crode again. So Fev will get a second via a 50 and his third for the afternoon, and these are important in the Coleman medal race. And again, Trent didn't want to go back and stand the mark.
Well, just a little bit of life. Just a little tiny skerrick of light at the end of the tunnel for the Blues.
There's the free kick that the Hawk fans were questioning.
Yeah, could have been a little bit unlucky.
And then Favola on the lead, and watch the contact late from Crode, it was deemed. And 50.
Little bit of relief too for Corey McGrath. Lance Franklin's come off for a spell just towards the end here.
45 points, the margin again. And again, the umpire struggling in the centre with the bounce. Scotland a high one to the wing. Bateman from one side, Lappin the other. Bateman! Nice mark. Touched ball. Carlton with numbers. Whitnell on the left. Pulls it for Lappin. Marked strongly in front of Bateman. Plays on to Stevens. Now tripped up was Houlihan, got behind Guerra therefore. Campbell Brown working with Gillum and Ladson to centre half back. This is Birchall. Young Hawks combine. Clark in the middle. Good run from Hodge. Ladson about to be collared. Breaks the tackle. Goes to the top of the square, but Whitnell covering ground well.
Just had to make that tackle stick, Nick Stevens.
Oh, Campbell with the intercept. Now Mitchell pops it up to half forward. Murphy and Whitnell. Dixon in from the side, and McGrath sees it safely over for a throw-in. Wonderful spoil. Time on, quarter number 2. Hawks deep in attack. Walker in some trouble.
Oh, the guy, sorry, came out. Didn't see it.
75 playing 30.
Arms up, guys.
Franklin with 4, Williams 3 for the Hawks.
Play the ball, play the ball.
Campbell the hit out. Walker wrapped up. Kick only as far as Mitchell. Hits it to the top of the square. Williams, best possession. And he's going to line up goal number 4.
Well, I saw him last week, Sam Mitchell. He had a fantastic match, and today he's doubling up. He's been absolutely brilliant around the stoppages. Have a look out the back here. He's in the right position. He's matched up against Nick Stevens. Stevens rolled the dice, didn't stay side by side with him in enemy territory in their forward line. He had to be right beside him. And in the finish, Mitchell got the luck of the draw.
Yeah, that was just better judgment by Williams. Thought it looked like he lost it in the sun.
Well, Williams usually very accurate by way of the set shot missing there. And the Blues get a couple back before half-time.
Big huddle here for the Blues, as you can see. They're taking a break, but doing it without much conviction. And finally, someone pops up the middle. So they've worked it 20 metres out.
Bannister, the man down the corridor. Now Thornton. Still trapped deep in the defensive 50. Wide ball, but effective. This is Simpson.
Back 3 metres! Back 3 metres! Keep coming.
And the best year of his brief AFL career, Cade Simpson, debuted in 2003. Hasn't missed a game. That's Russell at full stretch. Couldn't hang on. Bateman getting some work done as he awaits to return to the fray. Carlton winning the clearances this turn. And again. Stevens laying it off for Bannister. Carazzo, in fact, it was getting it to Blackwell. He'll go to Simpson. It's a patient build-up, this one from the Blues. The target is French. Can he keep it in? No. Boundary thrower.
There is those disposal issues that Dennis Pagan spoke about 2 weeks ago that have continually hurt the Blues. And there was another one. Barnaby French worked into space. Cade Simpson's an excellent kick, but he's just got to hit the target.
Mitchell, Birchall, Dixon. Now Crawford running hard. Birchall again. Good carry. Kick to centre half forward. Murphy, wonderful mark. Feeds Clark. The only 2 men inside 50. Dowler in front of Walker. And Bo Dowler, the second gamer's got it.
I like the look of Thomas Murphy. He just looks like he knows where the foot is going, how to present. He's a good athlete. The Hawks, of course, are doing this with a couple of their big gun youngsters out of the side.
And now, big moment for Bo Dowler. Debuted at Subiaco last week. His first kick as an AFL footballer on the MCG is a miss to the right-hand side.
Well, they could have almost put this game beyond reasonable doubt with their last 2 kicks, but with those misses, still gives the Blues a chance if they can finish off with a couple of goals in this last 4 or 5 minutes. At least they'll go into half-time with a glimmer of hope.
The margin is 47. Throw in between the wing and half forward for the Hawks. Campbell in front.
Once again, it was a short throw in, but the players really aren't picking up on it early enough.
It will come back to Carlton. The advantage not paid. Scotland will be the recipient of the free. Goes short to the wing. And here is the skipper. Is it indeed the final month of what's been a stunning career from Anthony Koutafidis? He pops this one up to half forward. Campbell getting back for the Hawks. Juggles a one-hander. They play on quickly. Ladson collaborates with Crawford, and now Smith breaks the tackle of Lappin. Campbell. Hodge. Lappin hurt himself in that attempted tackle. Crawford again. Sewell. Lappin still down on the ground. Vandenberg shorts it onto the wing. Crowed. There is Matthew Lappin picking up that 30-year-old body, and he'll come off the ground as Ladson drives to Crawford.
Nice kick.
Getting plenty of it here, the former skipper, and delivering to Franklin on the lead. And he can think about goal number 5.
Well, I reckon every Hawks fan will be absolutely thrilled that they were here the day Buddy turned it on at the MCG. Let's have a look at Matthew Lappin. Yeah, that would have really wrenched the shoulder. But if he can bang 5 through, there's not many people kick 5 goals in a quarter.
He had a lot of shots from here previous to the game in the warm-up. Bendit from the left post in.
He's kicked 22 goals, 5 for the year.
They didn't do that.
22-6. So again, 6 shots for the Hawks, bringing them undone. Another look at Lappin at full stretch. There's Carlton bringing into Scotland now towards the wing. Speaking of at full stretch, Russell's been nearly but not quite this quarter. Franklin with a dangerous hand pass to Dowler. And they've taken too long here, the Hawks. Blues win the free.
Nothing with a handball intention. He just had to hit the target. Because Bo Dowler had to slow down, pick it off his bootlaces, it gave the Blues a chance to wrap him up.
Wait.
Thank you.
The margin, 8 goals. Stevens keeping it in. Carazzo back for Stevens. Creative handball of beauty. The kick towards Eddie Betts. Skittles right on through. Murphy to Clark. Good vision. Dixon had a step on his opponent. Hawks running again to the forward pocket. Franklin are at the back. Dowler tries to take a hover. Crawford waiting down. Off balance. Ineffective kick. McGrath to O'Halpin. Goes for Carazzo.
Oh, good vision from Satanta.
It was. His disposal's improved, hasn't it?
Final 2 minutes of the opening half. Can the Blues rally with a goal here? Bryan takes on Guerra, who might have been hurt as well in the tackle. He's slow to get up. Fisher.
He got up there.
Yeah, he's going to be back down very shortly. He's really feeling it might be winded. Carlton going. Koutafidis now. Drives it to full forward.
Oh, it's a car crash.
And there are no free kicks.
I thought the first one might have been to Crow.
Here's the hit.
The next one probably should have been. Ooh, looked like a knee. Well, that one there might have been to Crow, and then that one there probably should have been to Fev.
A 1-1 draw. We'll get a bounce with a minute 18 remaining here in quarter number 2. Hawks with just 1 free kick for the turn.
Sorry, buddy.
Can they conjure up a goal? Favola with 3 of their 4. Smith, Birchall, Crawford punching out those hand passes quickly. He's got no one long to
No
give
one
it
to kick to. No one at all.
So Campbell Brown has to wait for something to present. Dixon and Brown waxing it. And now at least they've got men who have run forward. Minute to go. Vandenberg's one of them. Can he mark it here? Over the top of Bannister, and then a good Shepherd frees up Clark. Now Sewell. Head down.
No free.
Tied up Kane.
That was interesting because the space of probably 70 metres between the ball holder and the forwards remained, and they wouldn't. None of the forwards
moved.
They wouldn't close down that space.
No, they waited for the midfielders and others to move into the space.
Crawford, Guerra, good recovery, although caught holding the ball. Half a minute to go. Time for the Blues. Stevens out in front of Fisher in the middle. Good hands. Got to move it on. There's space for Favola to lead. He goes now. Stevens elects to kick short. Russell inside of 20 seconds. The long ball to a 1-on-3. Waite's got to beat them all and does, but he'll be on a very tight angle if he has a shot.
Waiting. Stewart.
5 seconds. Best he doesn't pass now. Siren will sound. And he was going to open it up and be told to play on, so cleverly he stops. 8 goals the deficit. Tough kick. And it's well across the face. It will not be a score. The half-time margin is 8 goals.
Well, from there, just on that kick, you're never going to kick that goal with a drop punt, a right footer. He had to go for the check side.
Nevertheless, a painful half a footy for the Blues coming off the back of a pretty impressive month. Blue supporters would be devastated, I think, at what they've seen. But
What the Blues have done differently, Koutafidis lining up basically as a centre-half forward flanker in that hole with Luke Hodge trying to go to him, so nothing too different at the start of this third quarter.
On the recruiting front, I wouldn't be surprised if they made announcements regarding Spider in the near future.
For the positive or negative?
I can't imagine it'd be positive. They may be positive that they're going to stick to their guns.
Guys, come on, let him up.
Yes, I think it seems inevitable that he has played his last game in the brown and gold.
Guys, play the ball, not the man.
Campbell smashing it straight to Stevens of Carlton. Gathers his bearings, feeds Scotland. Did well to get the handball to Stevens under enormous duress. Now Bannister. Got a bit of it in the first half. 13 possessions here, kicking to Favola. Crowed the spoil. Boundary throw-in.
Well, Anthony Kutafiti was the one who stayed back in the goal square, and that time it was Big Fev out on the lead. Nice punch here from Trent Crode.
Come on, Matty.
The versatility of Trent Crode on display this year. One of the horses for courses type scenarios as to whether he plays forward or back. There's a whistle, and it's going to be Richie Vandenberg's free.
And he got some blood too. Might have just got a nick across the top of the forehead. I doubt whether he's going to be taking the possession.
A fair old nick. It's already happened there by the time you see that contact. So he will trot off the ground. And Kane, his likely replacement. Opening minute, quarter number 3. Hawks searching for their 6th win for the season. Remember, they've lost 12 of their last 13. If they can get a victory today, they will pass last year's win total of 5. They had 4 wins the year before. This club was 4-1 after round 5.
I was going to say they won the first 4, though. You were talk of the top 8.
Guerra deep to Sewell. Got to beat 2. Laid it down. Does all right. Uses Joel Smith. Handball missed the mark. Opens the door for Betts. Now Houlihan. Seagull scattered as the kick comes to the wing. Carazzo goes without it. Graceful pickup from Hodge. Perfect delivery to Sewell. Good build-up. He hits the top of the square. The bounce important. Can Mark Williams get to it? Thornton under siege. Well done to O'Halpin.
Clever kick.
Excellent kick for Houlihan. And Simpson loves the bounce. The kick astray.
Well, we just saw the Brad Sewell kick. We gave him a rap at half-time, and he has played a pretty good game, but he's got to just get some work on that kicking. So when he wheels around onto that left foot, he hits targets.
Like that. Smith hitting the target. Campbell in the middle for Guerra. Now, Flood is on, so that's why he's waiting for something to present. It arrives in the form of Crawford on the outer wing, delivering to Williams on the lead. Thornton right in his hammer. Will get it from Bannister. Simpson, will he have a bounce here? There's one. Oh, Ladson's corralled him in beautifully. And the ball's going to stay in for him as well. Drives Hawthorn inside 50 once more.
Good effort by Ladson.
Free kick going Carlton's way. Here's Ladson's effort again.
But to be fair to Coach Simpson, he had nowhere to go. If he can't let it go forward because he's going to get poleaxed. Nobody there, only Hawthorn players.
Lappin towards French. Oh, you heard the whistle. And the umpire's called for a bounce. Good decision.
I'm not sure whether is that the correct call though,
well,
or is it, should it just be? No, he blew the whistle. Shouldn't he have just said play on?
Well, once you blow the whistle, I think you've changed the
Course of the play.
So
a recognition of an error there from Ray Chamberlain.
look at this run. This is sensational. It's taking him on. He's still going backwards. It's rugby. You go backwards to go forwards.
He's got it back.
And Bateman delivers to the leading Franklin.
Nice passage of play by the Hawks. They are absolutely switched on. It had its genesis, I reckon, last week, Clinton, where they played so well for so long before getting blown away, or they worked so hard against Fremantle. And they've brought that work rate to the G today.
And you like that confidence when you see players take other players on and then deliver like that after a long run.
Into the woodwork. They could have been a lot further in front. As it is, it's still a commanding 49-point lead as the Blues break for Whitnall. It's Houlihan marking the kick back into play, going to McGrath. He'll run onto this on the wing. Franklin bearing down at a rapid rate of knots. Forces a hurried kick, an awkward bounce for Brown. Fisher to Lappin, has Favola. Kick sits up. Crow defects the spoil, has support from Hodge, and the Hawks will clear.
Jeez, I like that kick. Could have gone wide, but smart enough to come up the middle.
And the Hawks, look at the run.
Just puts the pressure so quickly back on the Carlton defence, they can't flood.
Good style of footy. And Clark goes over the head of Dixon. This Blues defence, so Halpin, Whitnall, thought they've been under siege. Whitnall clears wide of Simpson, a boundary throw-in. A goalless opening to this third stanza as the Hawk bench, Bailey and Dow and Birchall there go for a warm-up. Campbell caught by Stevens. Guerra to Sewell, hits it to centre half forward for Smith, onto the left, penetrating kick to the top of the square. O'Halpin the spoil. Campbell, a throw.
Well, I'm just sitting here watching this game, Jared, and probably getting caught up in the fact that I just don't know what the Blues can do to get out of this. I mean, the Hawks are playing free-flowing football and they look as if they're just dominating this game. The Blues can't get their hands on the ball.
It just gets back to that mental ambushing. If the Hawks have come here better focused, better in sync as a group, well, it's always difficult, and sometimes it takes another 7 days of prep to get that right.
Crawford on the run. The champ delivers.
Well, they're just finding so much space, and as Clinton said during the call, the Blues had so many numbers back, yet Crawford can find that type of space around 50. The Blues have numerous players inside their defensive 50, and watch the space that Crawford finds here. I mean, Joel Smith chips it over. You can see he's got an absolute paddock. I mean, how do they allow Shane Crawford to be that loose is really beyond me. Whether the Blues players are just zoning off rather than playing on their opponents. I think it's time that the Blues say we're going man on man all over the ground, no matter what happens, and we just make it a contest.
So when you're doing your tips, if you're dealing with sides probably the bottom half of the ladder, winning form sometimes is not indicative that you're going to butter up. Maybe the Blues were maybe they were satisfied with their win last week. Well, they just took 5% the foot off the accelerator, lost that bit of hunger, and the Hawks had theirs magnified by a loss over in the West.
Well, for weeks, I think it was for 8 weeks in a row or 9 weeks in a row, they would have gone into training on a Monday morning with a frown on their forehead. Now they would have gone into training last Monday, all happy with themselves, and they're playing accordingly at the moment.
Here's Waite from right half forward, and the kick looks pretty good. He gets his first.
Well, let's hope that's something that now the Blues can build on and at least, you know, kick 2 or 3 in a row to add some sort of respectability to this. I mean, it doesn't really look as if the Blues can get back into this game, but I think now it's about respectability and showing the Carlton faithful that saw them play so terrifically well last week that, you know, that wasn't a fluke. We're here about improving. We want to make sure we finish this year off on a good note and just have a competitive quarter and a half to finish off this particular game.
Yeah, it's about getting ready for the Tigers next week. They've got Richmond, Collingwood and Sydney, 3 games to finish the season off, whereas the Hawks, they've got all winnable games. Essendon, Kangaroos, Geelong.
Campbell, Vandenberg, Sewell, quick hand passes. Guerra now. High ball to the forward pocket. Franklin backpedaling. O'Halpin coming out, slaps it down. Williams put the handball away, but Whitnall filled the gap well. Walker over the head of Simpson, but running onto it is Lappin. Goes for Thornton. Measures it for Whitnell on the wing. Good use of the body by Smith. And Campbell emerges. Look out, Franklin. Can he break the tackle of Waite? He does. Got the handball to Murphy. He's beset upon.
Better pressure from the Blues. 5 guys around the ball carrier.
It's hurt Waite. And he's holding his head still down, as you see in the corner of screen. Whitnell.
He might have copped an elbow in the tackle.
Now Eddie Betts looking to get involved. For Walker. Favola wants it long. Walker goes short to Fisher. And he hangs onto it well at centre half forward.
Probably wasn't the right option. Fisher made it look a lot better than what it was. The right option was the one to Favola into space over the top.
Oh, and there was Waite going hard into the shoulder of Murphy.
Yeah, they hurt. Elbows in the tackle.
And he's coming off the ground as Fisher with 2 behinds today. Can he break through here? It's going to land short, and it's helped through for a boundary throw-in. Jared Waite pausing to catch his breath. That hurt. Blues deep in attack, trying to string together back-to-back goals.
There it is.
And it's a freakish effort. What a goal. And who else would provide it than Brendan?
Well, this is a real highlight of this match. It's dead set war between these 2 boys, Favola and Trent Crode. And every time Brendan Favola gets one across the line, it's almost like a dagger in the heart of Trent Crode. And that's what makes good football, when there's great one-on-one battles like that.
And Fev's talking it up to anyone who cares to listen.
Oh, look, it's one of those battles that you would say, normally if a full forward kick 4 goals, you'd probably nearly give him the honours, but I would say it's been a pretty even contest to this stage. I think Trent Crode's played a very good game on Brendan Favola. He has had limited opportunities, but still kicked the 4.
They're having a running battle down there, Favola and the Hawthorn cheer squad.
Great job, great job.
And neither are taking a backward step. Fev just hoping to catch another replay on the scoreboard. The cheer squad still giving it to him. Great stuff. 43 points is the margin. Carlton have got back-to-back goals for the first time today. They've got 4 of the last 6, and they're coming again. Simpson wants to go. Short on the lead, and hanging on is Brian.
Well, we know he can make the distance. He'll be able to put this one through the punt road over. Let's have a look at big Sam Mitchell there. He gets a bit of a forearm jolt to the head, and down he goes. No free kick.
And this is better use from the Blues. I mean, they got time and space. Cade Simpson, good kick.
Oh, Brian's shanked it horribly.
Well, if it was golf, it'd be going to the buggy and picking out a new ball. You wouldn't find that one. That was into the trees.
Nonetheless, the effort has been better in the last few minutes for the Blues.
Yeah, they have to sustain this pressure, though.
Yeah, dangerous play on. Crode about to be called off. Fev's going to love this.
Talk about the running battle. Well, this sums it up right here. If he puts this through...
Will he give him the footy back in the right fashion? He does this time.
If he puts this one through, I think it swings to Favola.
It has to. It'll be 5.
That was a decisive handball back to Fev then, rather than the rugby pass.
Yep. So Favola directly in front. And we'll keep an eye on him if the kick is good. Will he have words with the Hawk cheer squad or Trent again? He's opening up a very handy gap atop the Coleman medal race. Oh, he's hit the post. And they're giving it to him now.
Now, when you engage with the opposition cheer squad, when you get a 35-metre out directly in front one, that's the only problem you got. The cheer squad would have been in Fev's head rather than the job at hand.
Know it all too well, Jared.
Here's Bateman.
Which cheer squad was your favourite one?
They were all pretty good.
Brown breaks the tackle midway in the third term, kicking long in the Franklin direction.
Good stretch.
Yeah, he's just too tall for Colin McGrath in that situation.
It's the only time it's been exposed, though.
Yeah. In an overhead mark, one-on-one, that's the only time it has been exposed. But that was always going to be a problem if the ball come in like that.
Potentially a 2-goal swing here for Bowler. The miss at one end. At the other, Franklin is going. That is his 5th.
And as that ball was going through, I was looking back at Brendan Favola. He put the hands on the head. He went down to the knees and realised, and you can see there he's disappointed. He's disappointed. He knows that that's a 2-goal swing.
Good kick by Brown coming in too. At the advantage of Buddy Franklin. And he's pretty deadly, is Buddy. He's missed one. But his stats right now, Clinton, are 5 goals, 2 from 7 kicks.
Gary
I knew
Ablett.
Scott Lucas is born.
Yes.
No passing off here. Now Scott's having a fine season. Well, that was crushing for the Carlton fans here.
Try, well done. Got it out.
It's an 8-goal game.
Kept the battle alive, though, which is interesting at one end of the ground.
Simpson. And White will take the mark. Simpson getting up in a little bit of pain after that contest. White goes deep. Favola nearly decapitates himself on the post.
Nearly the one-handed.
If he took mark of the year, I reckon that'd seal it. But I think even Trent Crowe to be able to come back from that. And he's had a crack at it here.
Oh, yeah.
With the one hand.
Yeah.
Like Sam at the Dome last year. 47 points now, the margin.
There's a lot of marks of the year being taken by that post. Peter Moore, Gary Ablett, Matthew Lappin, and an attempt then by Fev.
The Toyota Triangle. Here's Vandenberg.
Trying to remember where Brett Allison's was. I think it was at the other end.
Yeah. Bateman. Good kick for Brown. Perfect weight on it. Campbell's running his full measure and then spearing the ball at Lance. Will he pass this one off?
That's it, Corey.
No.
Just him.
He did the right thing. He pretended to have a look.
Well, he's on the right side for a left footer.
Would have closed the angle. It was the right decision. For a bloke who can comfortably kick 50.
Exactly.
Scotty tells us there's no wind out there. Even though the flags are blowing sideways.
That's coming back.
Just short.
Pulled up short.
I think there's a breeze out there, Scotty.
No, there's no breeze, says Scott.
There really isn't.
There's dogs being blown off chains out there, but there's no breeze.
Well, at the other end, he was kicking at 65. Yeah. He was flat out making it 50 there.
It's getting weary as the game goes on.
Okay.
It's a heavier atmosphere at the city end of the ground.
The margin, 8 straight kicks.
Watch the ball, not the man.
Kuda having a spell in the ruck here. Putting the pressure on Max Bailey. Trent Crowe.
Bounce first.
No touches here in this quarter with the job against Favola. Well, we'll do it again, Ruckman. Bailey after it bounced. Clark. Sewell slipping away. Good work. Had a bit of it. 21 touches now. Going to Birchall. To the middle.
Look at the run from Guerra.
Yeah.
Shot at goal.
Gets it from Ladson. Goes deep to the top of the square. Good spoils by a couple of Carlton defenders. Here's Houlihan for Stevens. Now, has to wait for Carazzo to present on the wing. Can he get it to him? He tries. The bounce eludes Carazzo. Hodge to mop up. Good work with Campbell Brown to the wing. Ladson. Inside of 7 minutes remaining in the quarter. Bateman. Nice little sidestep. Bombs it long inside 50. Carlton with numbers. Walker.
It's been a real plus for the Blues this year. Andrew Walker, he was a high draft pick. First game was a scintillating game. Struggled a bit over the next year and a half, but this year he's been really good. really taken a step forward as a player.
Big leap from Bryan, unsuccessful. Mitchell's handball might be intercepted. Gets a second go. And this one's a beauty to Ladson, who goes to Bateman. Short ball out wide for Guerra.
Move it on, Brent. Play on.
2 goals apiece here in this third quarter. Oh, Crawford lost track of that one. Late. Oh, Bateman, very desperate. Forces a bounce.
He smothered the handball. He didn't dive on it. I'll have it. Chance when you got it, mate.
That's a good decision by the umpire. Explained it really well. Unusual for Shane Crawford. Had it spent beforehand, but he doesn't dive on it. He did smother that handball.
Yep. Eyes up, Shane.
Bailey got a fingernail to it to Birchall. The ricochet for Lappin. Koutafidis, Houlihan. Chip kick to the 50. Bounce pass for Vola. Crow getting back there. About to be under pressure. Got rid of it. Half forward for Carlton. A real scramble, a bounce.
It was well done in the end by Trent Crow because it was 3-on-1. He knew if he had taken it out of bounds, it would have been a free kick. Stood up in the tackle. Well held up.
Umpire Wen. Pressure on him not to bounce it out of bounds here, and he does well. Bentek dragged down. We'll do it again. Hawthorn kicked the opening goal of the match 38 seconds in through Mark Williams. If you joined us late, they led 4 goals to none after 10 minutes and never trailed. And umpire Wen says, well, I'm going to throw it up in the air now. Campbell down to Bateman. He's tied up.
He ducked his head too, so it was
get it
no
again.
Come on, guys, up easy. I'll watch him.
I got an email to White Line Fever this week that umpire Wen has joined the media, doing the in-house video at the National Australia Bank. Might be trying for a job after football, Jared. Perhaps on the couch.
Might be his go.
He's a good umpire.
Well, he's got a future in the game, and he's got a future after the game, particularly if he can bring a better interest rate.
Breaking clear, Joel Smith. Can he go all the way from 50? Trademark Joel Smith, but just hooks the kick.
Play on.
14-9 to 6-8 as Lappin marks on half-back. Time on quarter number 3.
How'd you motivate yourself when you're a losing side like this, Wayne?
How do you motivate yourself, Jared? Look, you just do, like I said before, you have to man up all over the ground, make sure you win your position. And every time the ball comes anywhere near you, you make sure you put your best foot forward, and that's all you can do.
Stevens long. Oh, Chris Bryan! Big man, big leap.
Still got to get the job done. His last kick was less than positive, so he's got to put that out of his head, run around and just snap it round for a goal.
He just has to think his way through this. He just has to take a step to his left and snap it.
Did it well.
As so.
And he converts that wonderful mark into a goal.
It's not one of the more difficult kicks for footballers. It surprises me sometimes when they go back and try to kick that as we have another look at the mark.
She's good leaps.
Yeah, good leap and good mark. It surprises me sometimes when players go back to have a shot with a normal drop punt in that situation, and even if it's on your non-preferred, it's not that difficult to kick, just taking that one step and screwing it back.
The future of Carlton, really, how quickly they get up into that middle bracket is going to be determined by guys like Chris Bryan. He's got genuine talent. He's had a slow start to his career. Attitude was probably not up to speed early. I think he came through as a rookie. But he has got a level of talent that could see him become a much better player overnight with another 12 months of preparation.
Great screening by the Hawk forwards, freeing up Williams to mark directly in front. He'll look for his 4th, and the very quick reply to the Bryan goal.
It was good screening, but as you can see, the Hawthorn player break free here. Sam Mitchell's on his outside, which you just see on screen there. I think a lot of the Carlton players thought the handball would have gone to Mitchell. Therefore, he would have gone longer. So they were trying to read what would have happened. He's missed two. It's been some easy misses today from both sides.
Unusual for Mark Williams.
And what Scott Cummings still tells us is
No win.
benign conditions out there. O'Halpin. Well, an errant kick there. Campbell Brown goes quickly in the Dowler direction. Houlihan should mop up. Carlton so far have won the quarter. Tick over 2.5 minutes remaining. Lappin waiting on the wing. The run provided by Walker is good. He's got Eddie Betts streaking clear. Can he burn off? Virtually does. Unguarded goal square. Betts roosts it long. Bryan getting back. Hodge to beat. Bryan good pickup. Hodge the intercept. And wins a free. Advantage play on. They're away. Another Carlton forward thrust. Comes up empty. Brown to half forward. Bateman getting a stack of it today.
He's quick, Bateman.
Yours.
Now, Dowler's going to leap behind O'Halpin. Gave him a clip over the ears, and O'Halpin, the young Irishman, hung on beautifully. Feeds Lappin. He's away. Kicks deep to half forward. And Favola is waiting there on the rebound, and now he's lining up number 5.
O'Halpin's been one of the real finds for the Blues as well, I think, Jared. I think he's really improved. We've seen a little bit of the Blues over the last 5 or 6 weeks, and you can just see his confidence growing. He's starting to do things a lot better. Great mark there, had the confidence to play on, give the handball. Fev's got a shot at goal. We saw him a few weeks ago, I think, play on and get caught. I think he's getting better every week.
Favola's got 5. Carlton have kicked 4 of the last 5 goals in the match now.
Well, they're feeding off Hawthorn mistakes. Hawthorn have had some opportunities at the other end of the ground, missed some easy goals. They've dropped their intensity to some degree, not horribly, but to some degree. And it's allowed this sort of stuff. Bo Dowler, I think, needs to go to the other end of the ground and learn how to play defence. A bit like Satana O'Halpin, they started him up forward and ended up pushing him back. But in the 2 weeks that we've seen Bo Dowler, he's just not quite ready for that full forward line.
Another look at Favola. Waiting there, marking, and then goaling. He's got 5. Can Carlton get another one late before the 3/4 time siren? 14-10 plays, 8-8 now. Bryan, first hand to it. Important clearance. Bateman straight to Simpson. The Blues, they might be a chance. Simpson backs himself. He loves the bounce and goes to Fisher. And they might get another one. And there's a buzz around the MCG now.
Well, that one should have been intercepted. I think Rick Ladson just got confused between whether he should be holding his man or making the intercept. But in the end, he didn't make a big enough lunge at this footy. And I reckon he could have got there.
The only thing with Fisher today, his goal kicking hasn't been good. His team needs this. He's missed 3 and 1 hasn't scored.
No, not good at all. And you can see there, not too much wrong with the leg. I mean, there was no bent leg, but off a couple of steps. Just wasn't balanced.
His return for the year is 6-11, and that one really does kill off the confidence and the momentum that they had just begun to generate here in the shadows of the 3/4 time siren. Hawks under a little bit of pressure now. Vandenberg. Back for Joel Smith. Eddie Betts closing very fast.
That's
and
deliberate.
is going to be a free kick to Carlton.
Handball missed the target.
And the Fev, is he claiming it? No, back to Eddie.
It's going to Eddie. Clock is frozen at 12 seconds. They might yet get that momentum going into the final address from Dennis Pagan. He's creative, Eddie Betts. He'd love a goal here. Goes for the banana and hits the post. Well, now it's Carlton's turn to spray some chances themselves, and we're likely to have a 6-goal margin with a quarter remaining.
And once again, that's one of those ones that I think you've just got to step around on your non-preferred, Jared. It's an easier kick.
That's it, Bev. Yep. Don't go further.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a fan for the boomerang, but I'm not sure people practice it
Enough.
Because generally you get it under extreme circumstances.
Is there time? Will they beat the siren? Lappin got the kick away. It will not count. Well, a late rally from the Blues has drawn them to within 6 goals with a quarter to play. Brian to the right. The ruckmen go at it now. Who will get the first clearance? It's Sewell of Hawthorn. And he's mown down again by Eddie Betts. His closing speed is like Aaron Davey. Advantage play on. Stevens goes long. And Favola's got it. What a start this would be.
Well, it had the 3 ingredients. The chase and the tackle from Eddie. The quick play on from Nick Stevens. And good disposal. And we've got a problem here because Brendan Favola has hurt his back.
The clock is now stopped.
He's in big trouble.
Well, some issues here. You know he's going to want to take the shot at goal.
Kick, Brendan. He's got to go off. He's not going to take it. Thanks, trainer. We all walk out, please.
He will stay and have the shot.
Contest, mate. There's nothing
it's for his 6th, and it's to give Carlton some hope.
Just a step back, mate. Thank you.
I'd like to have another look at that after he has a shot at goal.
What a boost this would be if he can kick it.
I think he got 50 for less earlier in the game.
For number 6.
Sure.
He gives it a ride. What a goal!
Yeah, I don't think the back was too crook. He might have been playing possum for a little bit for the umpire. But I think they're look. He got 50 metres for taking a mark earlier. This is Eddie Betts' chase down. I mean, hasn't done a lot, Eddie Betts, but that's worth its weight in gold. That was a terrific run down and tackle that has set this goal up for Brendan Favola. But let's just have another look. Takes the mark.
Well, I think he might have just copped a knee in the end.
Yeah,
accidental, but he might have just copped a knee right on the spine. So
is it 50?
Well, probably no. I don't think it was. I don't think the umpire would have seen it either. But right now, the biggest issue is the Hawks will let the Blues in. They reckon they're half a chance now.
They've kicked 5 of the last 6 goals of the match. They've got 5 more to make up, and they've got the momentum.
The Hawks can kill it in 5 minutes, or the Blues can make this one of the bigger comebacks opportunities of a long time.
Scotland, Stevens, Lappin. They're going to go forward again. Campbell Brown filling the gap. And a good man to have when you need a steadying mark. He goes out wide for Gillum, his first game in a Hawthorn jumper.
Jared Waite probably just had to commit himself to that contest and bring that ball to ground.
Hodge. Will the Hawks look to play some tempo football here? Hodge will be told to play on, and he has to now. And the kick is precise to Clark.
Let him go, Andrew.
Good kick it was too. Oh, the handball back to Hodge. That's okay. Hodge now goes deep. They've got some targets themselves. O'Halpin can't mark. Franklin, Murphy, Williams.
Good chase.
Oh, O'Halpin did well. Franklin there. McGrath concedes it behind.
That's been one of the highlights today, and that is the improvement of Satanta. We focused on him a couple of weeks ago where he failed to collect the foot in, and somebody strolled in and kicked a goal, and people focused on his negatives. Well, geez, there's been some positives. But even that chase there, to block that after missing the ball in the air, was just an example of putting better awareness.
Well, I think he's all of a sudden said, and look, this has been one of the stronger sides that the Blues have put on the ground all year. I think he's said to people that, you know what, I can play a full season next year for this club, especially with another pre-season under his belt.
Crawford to midfield. Sewell elects to go inside 50 towards Williams. Lappin.
They're working harder now, the Blues. They are really getting more numbers around the ball.
As you say, 1 or 2 more, and the pressure will be well and truly on. Lappin inside the 50. Crow the spoil. Carlton are going to run onto this. Big chance, but White couldn't hang on to the Bryant handball. And they were off to the races if they had that.
Yeah, that was a handball over the top for Favola into an open goal.
He's actually down on confidence right now. We've seen 2 balls in the last 5 minutes where he hasn't attacked, and then the sharp handball missed.
At the other end, can Hawthorn make something of this? No. Whitnell hurries it to the wing. They've got 2 on 1. They're getting plenty of the footy. Can they get some conversion now? Scotland pops it out wide. Favola on the lead.
And kickable.
About 3 or 4 metres further out than his kick a moment ago.
Oh, I was going to say, Fev, you've been good today, but you can have confidence in your kicking ability, but when you take a mark, when you've got to kick the ball 60 metres, watch when he marks his ball. Watch when he marks what he does. This is what one of my pet hates. Look, at no stage here has he even turned around to see whether there was another option closer to goal.
He's backed himself, hasn't he?
He has definitely backed himself.
Wait for the roar if this goes through.
Big kick. Missing to the near side. He popped it into the first row.
And that's why, when you take a mark that far out, doesn't matter how good a kick you are and how much confidence you got in your kicking, at least turn around and have a look if there is some other option closer to goal with an easier shot.
And just down near you, Scotty, Jared Waite given 5 minutes just to think about it.
Yeah, he's pretty disappointed in himself, but he's having a little spell and a wander around. He'll be okay and straight back into it. Jared?
Mitchell's done well here against 2. And he affects a bounce.
Well, the Blues are full of running. They got numbers. All of a sudden, they're the ones playing free-flowing football.
The margin is 5 goals with a long way still to go. Oh, head
nice
down
work.
Hodge. And he gets a free. Oh, no advantage.
He loves it, Hodgie. He's got the free kick and he's still going off with the umpire about should have been advantage.
Look at that bull in a gate stuff.
Well, he just willed himself then. He just said, I'm going to win this ball and I'm going to make sure that we get this away from the stoppage, just through pure will and want.
Hawks a little bit defensive now when they've got the footy. Just trying to avoid turnovers here. And Carlton are sensing that. Campbell electing to go short, and all of a sudden the bouncing ball, it can be an awkward one.
We've seen sides try this that are in the bottom half of the ladder, and the reason they're in the bottom of the half is they haven't got the skills to play this sort of footy. They were better when they were charging and putting guys into space and taking it long and backing options up forward.
It's the sort of footy that gave them a 7-goal opening term, but that's dried up dramatically.
And if they continue to waste time, they'll probably end up with a critical 4 or 5 minutes at the end.
Look at this. They're still going backwards. Was that 15?
Gee, that's good.
Oh, it's a late whistle too. The umpire was measuring out the real estate. Prime land here. This should be a spoil. French to the boundary line, and it's over. And this is very, very negative start to this final quarter by the Hawks. They've got to go back to what gave them the 55-point lead in the first place.
And that was great play by Barnaby French because Shane Crawford, much more nimble, a lot quicker player.
Oh, he looked back.
Yeah,
just a bit of will.
He was attacking, he was aggressive, but he wasn't thinking it through.
Oh, big wrestle between Mitchell and Stevens off ball. There they are. And Sam's got a smile on his face. Crawford now. Will they go long? He's told to play on. Walker can run at him. Can he catch him though?
Wrong bloke to
Can he
take
catch
on.
him? He got him! This is great footy here. Carlton are rolling the dice. They've got the Hawks jittery. They're running. Stevens could go all the way. Into the pocket at full stretch. Favola to the top of the screen. No, it's gone through. It's a miracle from Fab. Number 7 for the soon-to-be Coleman medalist. And here they come with the flurry.
Well, at half-time, I think we said that they were playing for pride. Well, right now, Wayne, they're playing for 4 points.
Well, they are, and look, the turnaround has been quite amazing, and Brendan Favola's had a fair bit to do with it, but that chase...
Wrong bloke to take on, though. Andrew Walker is so quick.
Andrew Walker is quick and just got a finger in the jumper. Drag Crawford down, and look, as good as the goal was, can assure you in the highlights tape on Monday with Dennis Pagan, he'll cut it off before that goal. He'll say, he'll just talk about that chase from Walker. That was amazing.
Yeah, he's patted Brendan on the back enough this year, hasn't he? He doesn't need
Mind you, it was a pretty special goal.
Mitchell, will he take it on for the Hawks? They need a steadying goal. McGrath hoping for the boundary line and finding it. Hey, Scott, there must be a real buzz down there now.
Oh, they've stepped it up a whole lot down here. Both supporters going absolutely mad. Hawthorn supporters, they're absolutely desperate at the moment. The Carlton ones, they've got some hope.
Just watching a highlight of Brendan's goal there. As soon as that left his boot, he had the hands in the air. He knew.
And now their free kicks are flowing their way. Gee, the run is on here.
Yep. This is going to be a very interesting final 13 minutes. Remember, the Blues suddenly thinking we can get back off the bottom of the ladder.
Scotty, might get you to have a look who's on the bench for the Hawks when you get a sec.
Here's Lappin.
33 possessions to Matthew Lappin.
A tireless worker. He loads up the top and hits it well. Inside the 50. Loose ball, Lansom, look out. Saw, you're about to be caught. Got by one, not the second.
Outside the ball.
Play on. Eddie Betts now. He's brought down. Stevens, French. A chain of handballs. Bentic to Favola. A wrestle with Crode. Play on. Will Brown concede. Elects to kick it into play. Does well, but it's a 50-50. It's Bannister. And Bannister does well. Can he hit a target? It's French. Where has this come from? Ask those fans.
They look like they're in the spotlight right now, the Hawks. They cannot move. They're stunned.
Well, it's come from every player doing their bit. All of a sudden, they're confident. They're running. They're backing one another up. It's amazing what one or two goals and a bit of excitement can do to a football side.
Must kick it. Well, my goodness. Scotty, you've got the Hawks bench.
Yes, for the Hawks, we've got Chance Bateman, Brent Guerra, Bo Dowler and Max Bailey. For the Blues, Jordan Russell, Luke Blackwell, Brian Houlihan and Kuda.
Well, Chance Bateman's an interesting one because I thought in the third quarter he'd give them so much run. He looked a real danger man for Carlton.
He must be just rotated off for the Hawks.
Will that French miss prove to be very costly? Birchall to Franklin.
Oh.
And how will Barnaby feel if Franklin kicks this goal?
Big man Campbell coming from the ground. And the kid Max.
Franklin with this kick to equal his career best of 6 goals, which he got against Richmond earlier this year. The team needs a steadier. And Franklin delivers.
It is a great gift from the footballing gods that if you can kick the ball accurately from outside 50. They are rare beasts, those players, and if you've got them, particularly in this day of flooding, they are worth their weight in gold.
Again, a 2-goal swing. Should have been a goal at one end of the Blues.
You generally can't make a mistake, Wayne, if you're that far down at half-time. And again at three-quarter time, you can't waste your opportunities.
No, that would come back to haunt them, Big Barnaby.
Chance Bateman just snuck back onto the ground too there.
And it might have been, not to harp on Barnaby, it might have been a handball that he gave a few weeks ago that got intercepted against the Bulldogs. Got intercepted and ended up giving the Bulldogs a run on to eventually run away and win that game. It was one that got intercepted around the centre-half forward area.
And it's seemingly snuffed the life out of the Blues supporters in this crowd. Very healthy crowd. 36,817 here. It's been entertaining late. Lappin appealing for the free will get a bounce.
Easy up, easy up.
Oh, I reckon that could have been that was a free kick. That was a free kick against Hodge.
Chance, let him
Didn't have his eyes on the ball at any stage.
Mitchell working well in heavy traffic. Bailey flings it out.
Here he is, the man that was on the bench. He's had a rest and he's given the run.
The spark, Bateman to Crawford. Hawks break. Crawford to Clark. Great run. And the kick was pretty good too.
Well, he's not a noted goal kicker, is Clark.
Don't go forward, Andrew.
But he has been accurate this year. 11 goals won. He elects to pass off into the pocket. And Williams had 2 to beat. Benting. Met late. Play on. Franklin. About to be caught by Kuda. Boundary throw.
Yeah, he handballed it. We know he handballed it, umpire, but he handballed it straight over the boundary.
It's pretty stiff there, I reckon, Kuda.
Very stiff.
No,
15-11 to 10-12.
Well, go.
Hawks looking for just their second win since April, having lost 12 of their past 13. And this will ensure that they won't win the wooden spoon, the unwanted spoon this year.
Time's ticking.
Jeff Kennett, will he be getting the jacket out?
Hawthorn very keen too to get Chance Bateman up and around the stoppages.
Half forward for the Hawks. Bailey just pats it down. Stevens is there for Walker. Loads up the talk, hits it high to the wing. Waite and Smith. Smith with a better position on the mark. Great grab from the veteran. Birchall. Short. Bateman now.
Trent Crowe pushing forward. He's desperate to get one back on Fev.
Birchall happy to swing it to the outer side. Gillum to the wing. Brown. And they've apparently seen off Carlton's best shot. French could have made it a 3-goal game with plenty of time to go. But a very costly miss should ensure that Hawthorn negotiate a safe passage to victory from here. Brown sending it over for a throw-in. Bailey in front, short boundary throw in, favoured Koutafidis. Vandenberg extracts it. Clark, Mitchell, long ball to the hot spot. Dixon, push out, Carlton free.
Did you see that one, Lane? He was clearly edging him up.
Yep, free kick.
And the Blues take it, go to centre half back. Bannister onto the wing for Stevens.
Play on.
Takes off, delivers to half forward for Voller and Crowe. Crowe in front this time.
He's done that a couple of times today, Trent Crowe. I don't think he's played a poor game today, Trent. He's had 7 goals kicked on him.
Might be another one, mate.
And he's been caught holding the ball twice by the Fev. But he hasn't. He's done some pretty good stuff today, I think.
It's been good. It's been a good highlight of the match.
Well, Fev's chased hard again a couple of times.
Oh, he has, and that's the electric pace that he's got. I mean, you think you got more time than you have. He's so explosive over 10 or 15 metres, Fev.
This is soda compared to the one he put through in the.
It'll take him 15 goals clear of the second place Barry Hall at Coleman. Have a look at that.
He's a good kick.
A worthy Coleman medalist right there. He's got 8.
He's got 8.
8 of 11.
He's got 8 now. He's kicked a couple like that one. He kicked one from the boundary at the other end. He kicked the one off the ground at the other end. But the 2 he's missed have been easy.
Yeah, the Hawthorn cheer squad's got his measure at the moment.
Yeah, they have. He missed 2 easy ones at that end. But he's kicked some pretty good ones from the boundary, so it makes up for it. 8 goals too. What a great effort.
It's the 3rd time he's kicked 8 goals in an AFL game, equaling his personal best today. The last time he kicked 8, round 13 against Richmond. We all remember the Millennium game back in '99 when he kicked 12. That was part of the pre-season, but
I was going to say he hasn't kicked double figures in the home and away yet.
no, this is equal to his PB. Does it keep Carlton alive? They've got to get 4 goals in the final 7 minutes. Kane electing to go back in for it, and a bounce will result.
My ball. Well done.
The margin was 55 points when Crawford opened the scoring in the third term with a goal. So
sorry, Clinton, what did you say the Fev's on now for? How many has he kicked for the year?
77 for the year.
77 for the year.
It's a pretty good return, and the ton is suddenly back in the frame with 3 games to go. Gillen and Kane just slipping away. There were a chance there for a heartbeat, the Blues. But the rebound is on, and it's Clark marking, looking for a runner. Nothing presenting, so he waits.
Well, there's been a little bit of debate about the All-Australian full forward. I think it's been put beyond reasonable doubt.
Been mulling a few minutes up on Saturday Central with the debate on full forward, have you?
You have.
Good late pressure. Franklin. Blues prize it clear. Simpson's got a man on. It's the skipper. Now, can he find a target inside 50?
Yep.
He will. And this man is a thumping kick. The accuracy will be the question. It's Chris Bryan.
And Trent Crowe
Has ironed out Viv.
has known that the mark was taken and then decided to absolutely smash Fev.
Oh, this is serious. Players stopped. Have a look at Favola. Crowe, you see from the corner of the screen, taking him down. And Fev, well, no sooner had we started speculating on a ton this year than he is down and seemingly out. Not a good sign. We have reached time on to the last quarter. If Bryan can goal, they'll be within 17 points. But right now the concern is surrounding the 25-year-old spearhead. Stretcher has come out. Well, the crowd just seeing it on the Giants scoreboard here at the MCG. Fev is going to try and wave off the trainers and go on. Another look. As you see the contact there, so
I don't think it was that contact. I think it may have been when he was going into the ground. See, not that. Oh, an elbow.
Yep, from his teammate.
An elbow from his teammate, and then on top of that, Crowe landing on top of him. You're right. He's got a glancing blow from his teammate.
Thanks to our boys in videotape on Fox Footy Sunday, they've had every angle for us this year. Another look at Bryan's elbow.
Look here. Watch the elbow there.
Oh. Great stuff, boys. And Fev is going to try and run this out. Well, isn't there some late drama in this match? 5:21 to go. If Bryan can kick this, it's 17 points the difference.
You got to stay on, Fev.
Yeah. Because at the very worst, he's a very good decoy.
Yeah, the only problem is he thinks he's playing at the Telstra Dome right now.
He's coming off. All right.
He's been unconscious 5 minutes ago. He's got to come off.
Can Bryan roost it 55 metres and keep the faint glimmer of a huge comeback win alive? He's kicked just 7 goals in his AFL career, just one of them this year.
Well, we've seen him have a couple of shots today, and they haven't been his best kicks. Although the one on the boundary, sorry, where he stepped around was all right.
But he is a massive kick.
He's a massive kick, and this probably suits him more than the ones closer in.
Well,
although in saying that, he's put it on the full.
For the second time today. Ifs, buts, and maybes. 5 minutes to go. Once again, it would appear the Hawks are going to hang on for their 6th win of the year, not without some moments of anxiety for Alistair Clarkson as Ladson marks in the back pocket. Now, no free options here. That's a touched ball. Crowe will enjoy his freedom now. Campbell overruns it. Late the pickup, flings it out. Sewell in the way. He's mown down. This is Koutafidis. Goes to Betts. Go back quickly, Eddie. Time is on the wing.
Jeez, it's so quick at the moment. I mean, Brad Sewell is charging through, looking for an option to get rid of it. Doesn't see one. Probably takes too much time in the pack. Gets tackled, and within a second, Eddie's got the ball shooting at goal.
Kick on its way has got the carrot. Is there a pulse? Inside of 3 goals now, the margin 17 points. That's the first today for Eddie Betts.
Hasn't had a big day, Eddie, but he's been one of the reasons they got back into this match. His tackle and his goal. Not going to ever be a big possession winner, I don't think, but if you can contribute like he has done, well, then you're going to get your paycheck.
It has been 8 goals to 2 in Carlton's favour since the 9-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Scott Cummings.
I just lip-read the Carlton club doctor there, looking at the boys on the phone to Dennis Pagan, and tapped Fevy on the shoulder and said, nope, he is no good, in case there was any doubt at all about that.
He's had a fair afternoon with 8 goals. Thanks, Scott. Clearance vital. Clark held up. A bounce.
Thanks.
8 goals. Losing game for the Blues. How many Brownlow votes does he get?
This bloke could get a couple, I reckon.
Mitchell for Williams.
So he gets the 3, you think?
That'll be a tough one. Be certainly a tough one. You give him BOG?
I think the fact that they've won the game, Sam, and played consistently well all day, you'd have to give him the 3. I'd probably give the Fev the 2.
Williams kicked 3 goals early and 1 late. Relief on the faces of the Hawks supporters. They can breathe easy now. There will be no miracle comeback. They're out by 23 points.
Well, a smart play by Sam Mitchell, just to emphasise his good work today. It was clean and it was deadly. And Mark Williams has missed a couple today, as you said. That one, no problems. Been a good effort by the Hawks. We've been focusing on the Blues comeback for a fair while now, but at the end of the day, the Blues have gone down, or will go down, and the Hawks, this is a pretty memorable victory. They've had to work hard at the finish to hold on, but I'll take a lot of delight, I think, Hawthorn supporters, out of the way they went about it early in the piece in particular.
Simpson to Lappin. Lappin's had 35 possessions, if you don't mind. Walker out in the path of Stevens. Touch risky. And Bateman with 25. Let's play on the call.
It just gets back to that first quarter, Jared, the fact that they jumped the Blues and got off to a great start, as did Fremantle to the Hawks last week.
Yeah.
You just can't allow sides to get off to those sorts of starts.
Right there, Kane.
Inside of 3 minutes now remaining.
Wait.
And the sense of inevitability about it leading some of the Blues fans and the 36,800 strong audience to head for the exits and beat the traffic.
This bloke's been very good again.
Yeah, I agree.
He runs so hard. They need a couple of him. They've got to find a couple more runners.
Well, just when they were struggling in that last quarter, he was on the bench. He come back on and was straight into the action.
Fumble from Lappin, recovers quickly to feed Scotland. Now Whitnell towards half forward. Good pressure by the Hawk defence. Hodge caught, ducked the head, play on. And Ping.
Easy out.
Needs a bull bar, Luke Hodge, if he's going to lead with his head like this. Head goes down. Scotland drags him to the ground. Does he get it out?
Nope. Free kick to be taken by Heath Scotland. He's just shy of his season average, 27 possessions. He's had 24 or more touches now for 16 consecutive games with this disposal.
Right there, Hodgie.
And from right on the 50, his kick is good.
Well, as you said, Clinton, he's had a terrific year, Heath Scotland. Sporting a new rubber stamp on the forearm there, too, by the look of it.
You like the look?
Not for me, but no, he's had a terrific year, and he's played in a number of different roles. He's played across half-back, through the midfield, gone forward. He's been one of the real shining lights, and the fact that Nick Stevens has played a little bit of a different role at times this season, he's really stood up.
Once again, it's back inside of 3 goals. If it stays this way, Carlton will now have lost 8 matches this year by 19 points or less. Campbell stood up in it. Mitchell dumped unceremoniously. Russell. It's had a quiet day. And it's a Carlton free against Campbell. Coming up on a minute to play. 17 points the margin. Can the Blues get a late one? No. Hodge the general down there.
And just for those people at home that were wondering why the Fev couldn't come back on the ground, Jared, it's because even though he didn't get on the stretcher, once the stretcher comes onto the ground, you're not allowed back on for 20 minutes. So there wasn't 20 minutes left in the quarter, so even if he was fit or passed by the doctors, the fact that the stretcher come onto the ground didn't allow him to come back on anyway.
Hodge towards midfield. Good run. Gee, late in the game. Mitchell's played the bulk of this match. Still working hard. He's going to be brought down here, and his handball intercepted by Stevens. Half a minute to go. About respectability here for the Blues. Can they get a late goal? Russell, 65 out in closing. Well, he drew the defence, forced a handball, and the Hawks will mop up with Birchall. Bateman's been good. Brown, ditto. Bateman again. Forwards haven't seen it a great deal in this final term. After a tough winter, the Hawks happy to hear this sound. Hawthorn post their 6th victory for the year.
And the skipper's going to have a shot at goal after the siren.
He'll be close to being long odds from this range.
We saw him last week have a shot from about 20 metres closer.
I reckon he had a shot from about this distance 2 years ago, just after siren, and might have just dropped short. So let's see how he's going, the skipper.
For statistical purposes only, Vandenberg drives it home. A fitting finale as the Hawks win for just the 2nd time since April. They keep Carlton on the bottom of the AFL ladder. The margin is 23 points on Fox Footy Sunday.
Well, it was great to see Richie Vandenberg go back and actually kick the thing, because whenever he misses, he just pokes at it, and we saw an example last week. So he will be thrilled that he's maybe developed a recipe for success. Trent Crowe, well, great to see him and Brendan Favola acknowledge each other's performance. It was sensational. But down on the ground, here he is, Scott Cummings.
Well, he's pretty surprised himself by that one, Richie. Great win, set up by a brilliant first quarter.
Yeah, it was. I was just wrapped with the discipline of the team today. Everyone had a particular role to play, and I thought we stuck to it, created a lot of space for ourselves. The forwards had plenty of room to move, and it was just a credit to the boys the way they stuck to what they were asked to do.
And some terrific signs. Buddy Franklin up forward, he turned it on in the second. You got exciting times ahead for your fans.
Yeah, that's right. If when Buddy's switched on, he can do anything, and he knows that. And he's come a long way since he arrived at the footy club, and I think he's got a good future.
You go tell him all about that kick again. Well done, Richie.